brace yourselves, Coby stands, because there was also some Coby stuff in this Darnell piece.
Come on.
And you might not like what you hear.
Come on.
Coby White is expected to remain in the first string this season, sliding between Levine and the arrival of Josh Giddey at point guard. Josh Giddey at point guard. An off-ball role is not the one White coveted. He's long said he views himself as a point guard.
Yes, he has.
The Bulls, as evidenced by the Giddey trade, see it differently. There's belief within Bulls leadership that White operates best without the added dimension of navigating playmaking responsibilities. In other words, despite his improvement over the years at orchestrating the offense, White is free to be a scorer. Now, that last part that Darnell included, free to be a scorer, sounds to me like positive spin from a Bulls coaching staff or executive explaining to Coby that you're not going to be the point guard anymore because Josh Giddey's here and we need to invest in Josh Giddey. That's what that sounds like to me. Hey, you're free to go score. We're also taking the ball away from you.
Yeah, that sucks. Coby has definitely done so much to improve that and becoming a point guard and knowing like in the league, just a league that's just full of just really good to great point guards. And it feels like you've got to have one on your team. I'm sure that's why Coby, as Jordan would say, took that personally and wanted to become, really great at that. And he really did. Like, for real, if you have time, go back and watch like Coby White highlights. Like, go watch the ones the Bulls just put out. And remind yourself of what that dude was doing this season. Like, a bunch of stuff with me and, jumping out of our seats, spinning between double teams and laying it in, finding the guy in the corner, with the pass and things like that. So Coby really did a great job of improving as a point guard, as well as allowing his points to go up and be, that kind of scorer that the Bulls need as well. It's not a great feeling when it feels like you're doing all this stuff and the team that you play for is still like, yeah, but it's nah. Thank you, but nah. That's still not a cool feeling. And I'm interested to see how that plays out because Coby takes this stuff personally because he's an athlete. He's a professional. He wants to be the best. And I have no problem with him feeling that way. And I hope he comes in and takes it even more personally and goes at Josh Giddey and attacks him. You know what I mean? That's going to do nothing but sharpen the sword. And I want him to see that happen more so this season than any other season because this season it could be on him as far as being the best player on the team. I'm just speaking about if Zach, is no longer here.
Right.
So if that's going to be the case, I'm not going to let you put me in some box. I'm not going to let you tell me what my game should be. I'm going to show you what my game is. And that's what Coby has been doing for years, is showing people what he can do and not listening to what they are telling him he is. So I hope he continues to keep growing and takes this personally and comes into training camp with that chip on his shoulder because the dude balled out last season. There was really nothing there. And the dude you want to replace me with was the dude who got benched. I take that personally too. I would.
That's a tough sell.
I take it personally.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think he should view it that way as a player, but from like a outsider kind of perspective that we're in, I don't think it really matters because I still think even if you take off the point guard label, which is probably what's going to happen, like he's not going to be technically viewed as the point guard, he's still going to have more usage this year than he is last year.
Sure.
He's still going to have a similar role in terms of the amount of time that he's initiating the offense because a lot of times DeMar was doing that last year. So I think Giddey
Zach LaVine also was out for large stretches when Coby
had
high usage and was thriving and dominating the offense.
But he also played and had high usage when Zach was in the lineup to start the year. So I don't think that just because Giddey is the point guard means that Coby's not going to have the ball. I think he's actually going to have the ball as much or more than last year. It's just going to be slightly different because Giddey is a little bit more one-dimensional in the way that he has to operate on the offensive end. Even DeMar, who is not like known as a shooter, he was a little bit more of a threat off the ball because he's more of a scoring threat than Giddey. And so I think that's the complicating factor, but I don't think this means that the Bulls don't believe in Coby. I think they're just trying to put him in a situation that they think will help him. And I could see why he might take offense to that because it's like, yeah, you want to be the starting point guard. You want to be the starter. You want to be the all-star. Like those labels matter. They have value in this league. It's how you get paid. But I don't think that functionally this really changes who Coby is or how the Bulls view him. Now, in 6 months' time and, the Giddey experiment is going how it's going, if Coby's still frustrated with that or whatever, yeah, maybe then you have to do some massaging or maybe it's time to make a move, retrade Coby and try to get some assets and really kind of kickstart more of a rebuild. Who knows how that all sorts itself out. But I do think that minus DeMar plus Zach and Giddey, there will be more opportunity, more usage, and more scoring avenues for Coby than last year.
So, I see your logic, essentially saying like, hey, maybe Giddey at times is the one bringing the ball up the floor, but Coby's going to be running around off ball screens to then get himself freed for Giddey to set him up for Coby to then get the ball and go score.
But like at the same point, having I'm the starting point guard label does matter. Like that, I can understand why players would be, territorial about that or be, prideful about that. That makes total sense. So I'm not saying it doesn't matter. I just think at the same time, functionally, I think he's going to have even more opportunity than last year.
And, especially with the offseason that Coby's had, like obviously he got national attention, nearly won an award, voted on by national NBA media. And, coming into the summer, like, oh, okay, DeMar sign trade to Sacramento is gone. Everyone knows we're looking for a trade. The Bulls are looking for a trade for Zach LaVine. Maybe Zach is gone. Like, based on the way I played and what we got here, like, I'm going to ride with my fellow young teammates, but like, this is my team now.
Yeah.
This is my team now.
Yeah.
And simultaneously, Alex Caruso out, Josh Giddey in, a player who very much, I think, kind of crashed the offseason party of Coby White being like, yeah, this is my team now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But at the same time, Coby stepped into a major leadership role with this team last year, and DeMar was still here. So I think those two things can coexist. And I think a lot of times it's very easy to say, this is the point guard. This is like the heliocentric, got the ball on his hands, 35, 40% usage. He's going to be the one that is always dominating the show. Like if the Bulls want to run offense that way, they are built to fail because they don't have a guy who's good enough to do that. They have to be a little bit more egalitarian. They have to move the ball more. They have to be more motion based. If they're going to have any success, their offensive identity needs to change from last year. It's going to be impossible to run the same stuff as last year because you don't have the best player from last year. So I think fundamentally all this stuff is going to change. The way that Coby became a leader last year, the obviously jump that he took in his game, I think that's going to mean, it's going to be different, but there's still going to be more there, I think, for Coby in terms of opportunity and leadership role that it's once it starts to materialize and the ball is actually, thrown out there and people are able to play basketball, I think that it will become clear very quickly that Coby is still very much like a foundational piece here.
We all silly like the mayor.